You know, Ultra Instinct is an incredible thing, and it was an amazing addition to the Dragon Ball universe. However, as of right now in the Dragon Ball Super story, there is a power even more powerful than Ultra Instinct, and that's Zeno's Erasure ability. Zeno isn't a fighter. He does not understand martial arts. He probably doesn't even know what Ultra Instinct is, but he's still at the top of all the gods and angels because Zeno already has control over the thing that Ultra Instinct leads to, which is unbridled power. And let me explain what I mean. In the early days of Dragon Ball, the show cared quite a bit about hand-to-hand combat and outsmarting your opponent. Towards the end of Dragon Ball, and definitely throughout all of Dragon Ball Z, the show became more about defeating your opponents not through martial arts skill, but by controlling a larger source of power. Most of the time, that power comes from within, and that's why power levels and power scaling exist. Sometimes, however, that power can come from external things, like in the case of Goku's Spirit Bomb. It doesn't really matter though. When Goku gathers the power of a Spirit Bomb, he's in control of that power. And so if it's greater than his opponents, then Goku wins, regardless of whether or not Goku was a better martial artist or physically weaker than his opponent. I mean, who do you think is physically stronger, Goku or Zeno? The answer is Goku. Now, who do you think controls more power? The answer to that right now is clearly Zeno. So becoming a physically stronger fighter isn't necessarily the best way to grow your own power in the Dragon Ball universe. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. This is something that Whis made clear to Vegeta early in Dragon Ball Super. So according to Whis, ki control is the answer. In Dragon Ball, your ki is a manifestation of your life energy, which is a representation of the type of power we're talking about. So mastering ki control is simply mastering how to control your power, but that doesn't necessarily mean growing your power. So does this mean that Whis was wrong? No, it doesn't, because remember from earlier that power can come from within or it can come from external sources. So improving your ki control makes you a better conduit to control power no matter where it comes from. Up until now, with little exception, the Z Warriors have been focused on controlling the power that comes from within. And that's why they needed to train the way they do and become physically stronger, because they were essentially creating their own power, creating and growing their own life energy. When you lack ki control, you have to be physically strong enough to deal with any source of ki that you come across, whether it's internal or external. The physical requirement to deal with ki when you do have ki control is much different. That's why none of the angels are big and buff like Broly, but they're all likely much stronger. The angels are manipulating large sources of ki, and here's the zinger: most of it is likely not their own. So where is this large source of external ki coming from? Well, to put it bluntly, it's coming from us. Well, not us, from mortals. Us if we lived in the Dragon Ball universe. How is that? Well, give me a second to explain the only job that angels seem to have. That job is to cultivate and grow the mortal level of their respective universe. Just real quick, remember that the mortal level had almost nothing to do with the physical fighting ability of any one person in their respective universe, but it had everything to do with the amount of life and the quality of that life in a given universe. As a reminder, the mortal level was so important that the angels created a ranking system for it, and they were willing to completely erase the universes that didn't live up to a certain point on that system. I mean, that was the entire premise behind the Tournament of Power. The reason why the amount and quality of life in any given universe is so important to the angels is because that is their source of power. Without mortals, the angels would be without their main source of energy. That's why the angels focus so much on cultivating life, but seem not to care much about any one particular life. It's also why they can smile when a universe with low mortal levels get erased, because that's simply a waste of their time. Cultivating a better universe will do so much more for them. The mortal level is a representation of the energy that all the living beings in all the universes create, and mastering ki control, being completely relaxed and in balance of your emotions and impulses to the point where your body can react and move without thought, that is what allows you to tap into and control that power. That's also Ultra Instinct. It's why we saw an outline of the universe behind Goku when he first tapped in to complete Ultra Instinct. That's where the power is coming from. The reason why Zeno doesn't need to learn Ultra Instinct to be at the top of the God hierarchy is because Ultra Instinct is only a glimpse into what Zeno can do all the time. We don't know yet. Maybe it's because of Zeno's nature, but for currently unexplained reasons, Zeno can connect to that life energy without the need of techniques like Ultra Instinct. He is the ultimate conduit, and I suspect that that's where Goku is headed. The ability to tap into and control the life force of all the universes without any fancy tricks or techniques is what I suspect would be the ultimate form Goku achieves in this series. I think this is what Goku being able to use the Spirit Bomb foreshadows. It's also why he has to drop back to base form to use it. He can't use the Spirit Bomb in Super Saiyan form because the Saiyan bloodlust and rage invades his heart. And it seems as if you need to be in a space of tranquility and balance when manipulating external sources of ki or life energy. The same tranquility and balance you need to achieve Ultra Instinct. This is probably also why Ultra Instinct Omen has black hair. It's pretty much just base form Goku, just like he is when he's using a Spirit Bomb, but he's tapping into a small portion of that multi-universal life energy. With the Spirit Bomb, Goku can tap into and use the energy of nearby sources. At the end of the series, he's going to be able to tap into the same power Zeno taps into, which is the life force of all living things. Anyway, those are just some thoughts I wanted to share with you guys today. Let me know what you think. If you made it this far in the video, hashtag ZenoGoku in the comments. Big shout out to everyone who's purchased the Moshi book. You can get your own copy by clicking the link in the description and joining the hundreds of people, all of whom seem to be enjoying the book. I seriously haven't gotten anything but positive feedback so far. So thank you guys again for all the support. Hashtag Duku. I will be talking to you guys again real soon. Bye.